Welcome to Starting Over for the Last Time, where we give you the tools, the insight, and the awareness to make your next restart your last restart. I'm Coach Nkrumah, and I am your alignment and identity coach. Tonight, we're going to be talking about something that I know all too well. In fact, I was having some conversations with some good friends of mine about this just recently. Um, the topic we're dealing with tonight is how pressure quietly becomes a lifestyle. We, in particular, as men, not saying that women don't deal with pressure or stress. That's not what I'm saying at all. But as men are supposed to be the protectors, the providers of the family, a lot of times we put a pressure on ourselves that's really unhealthy. I mean, it's completely unhealthy, but the thing is we don't even recognize it, and that's what we're getting into tonight, how that pressure quietly just becomes not just your lifestyle but your identity, what you believe you're supposed to do or who you believe you're supposed to be. And we struggle with being present, we struggle with being in the moment, we struggle with joy, we struggle with peace, we struggle with sitting still. And this is everything that we're going to be dealing with tonight. Some of us have not relaxed in years, and I can attest to, first of all, being one of those people, always focused on the next thing, always focused on the future. One of my biggest things was always thinking about, like, how am I going to take care of myself when I'm 60 or 70? I guess I saw a lot of older people struggling when I was young. And I'm just thinking, I don't know if this is a fact or not, but it's just something I think about. I think I might have saw a lot of older people struggling when I was young. So I was always trying to make sure I plan for my 60 or 70-year-old self. And this is the crazy dichotomy. I've been living my life trying to save my 10-year-old self from all the trauma that he went through, while simultaneously trying to protect 60 and 70-year-old me. But all in between, I was not protecting the present me. I know somebody else is feeling that. Not protecting the present me, not celebrating the present me, not resting for the present me, not giving the present me any happiness. And what I mean, it's been times where I probably worked damn near a year straight, every day, just every day, because I gotta save enough money to be safe. I gotta, whatever that safe is. And when pressure becomes your lifestyle, nothing can ever be safe enough. I don't care what it is. You can save $20 million, and what Jay-Z said, look what that did to Hammer. Like, you be like, man, if Hammer blew 20 million, I could blow 20 million. I gotta save 50. So when pressure becomes that lifestyle, when pressure becomes that identity, there is no safe. You will never feel safe. That's why we have to work and transform that identity. So most people haven't relaxed. And I know it took, I was talking to a brother of mine. Like I said, I was talking to a friend of mine. I was talking to one of my closest friends, man. And he's not putting his business out there. He was just telling me he was talking to his doctor. And even his doctor was like, yo, you got to rest, man. And you got to do something for you. Like, when your doctor is telling you you got to do something for you, because when that pressure becomes a lifestyle, when that pressure becomes the identity, it's just like, no, I have to go. I have to do. I have to work. I have to prepare. I have to save. I have to protect. And you're in this constant go, and you never even sit back and say, let me enjoy some of this. No relaxation. There were times in the past where I could literally be on vacation and not be on vacation. I took my laptop with me everywhere. I'm on the beach and I got my laptop out. Like, I couldn't be present even on the vacation because my mind was still stuck and my identity was built and this pressure. So most of us, we don't even realize that we're under pressure because pressure just became normal to us. Like we just wake up and we immediately just feel that urgency. Like I had to really start to force myself to get up, sit on the edge of the bed, and just take a couple of breaths because there was no rest. It was waking up, grab the phone, check the email, get up, do what you got to do. It was never any rest. Even sleep wasn't rest. I wasn't even sleeping enough. I went years probably without getting 8 hours of sleep. Wasn't even trying to. I'm getting up early in the morning. I'm not even going to bed early enough to try to get 8 hours. Operating on 5, 6 hours a night for years. When I say I know this all too well, I know this all too well. I understand the cons of this, and that's why we have to do this work to fix that part of our identity so we're no longer living as pressure, but we are allowing ourselves to be in the moment. We're learning how to feel safe, and we're training our nervous system to be able to be what we needed to be in order for us to thrive right now because we only have now. We don't have yesterday. We don't have tomorrow. All we have is now. So we just wake up, we feel that urgency. Before our feet even hit the floor, our mind is already thinking about the bills, thinking about the kids, thinking about what we need. We have all this going through our mind as soon as we wake up. Sometimes it's on our mind as we sleep. But after a while, it stops. It's stress, but we don't even look at it like it's stress. It just feels like, oh, this is just me now. This is just how I get up now. This is just how I feel now. This is just how I operate now. This is just how I think now. This is just how I move now. Not even we don't even start. We don't even feel it. No, we feel it. We don't consciously recognize it as stress anymore. It's just doing what you got to do. Make sure you pick up Killing Yesterday. I have a whole chapter on breaking the habit of doing what you got to do. Make sure you pick that up. coachingcruman.com/killing yesterday. So we start to say things like, once you piled everything on us, on yourself, and this is just how you act. It's like, no, this just how I am. This is just what I got to do. Or we start thinking, I always been like that. You was not always like this. You weren't like this when you was 8, 9, 10 years old. Life happened and made you like this. Some of us articulate it. Listen, I can't sit still. Why can't you sit still? And I'm not judging at all because that's all that's coming from me. My personal experience of I can't rest yet. I can't stop yet. I can't stop going hard yet. I can't stop working 7 days yet. That was me. That was me. It wasn't me, but I thought it was me. I'm describing the stress and pressure of life as my personality because it became so ingrained in my nervous system that it just felt like a part of me because your nervous system is always going to adapt to whatever it's dealing with repeatedly. So your nervous system is adapting and responding, and then it's adapting and it's responding, and it's creating this loop, and then the neural pathways in your mind begin to connect with that physiological loop, and it just gets embedded in your identity, and you can't even recognize that you are living under tons of pressure that you do not need to be living under, but you think you have to do it. That pressure just became your lifestyle. I don't know how people do podcasts and not be like sweating down because these lights always have me sweating. Maybe I need to be a little ashy and not and not have my refined skincare body butter on. Pressure becomes familiar, becomes invisible when it becomes familiar. When it's your everyday, it's no longer in to the way we think, it's no longer pressure, it's just life. You know, uh, the pressure rarely enters our life loudly. Most of the time, it enters quietly and repeatedly until your body adjusts to carrying it. And it's like, they talk about putting the frog in cold water and putting it on the stove or over a fire, and it slowly gets warm. The frog won't move until it gets too hot and it'll cook the frog. Now, the frog, if it jumps in hot water, will jump right out. But if it slowly cooks, it'll just sit there until the cook gets cooked to death. And that's us. We getting cooked to death. A lot of people talk about how life is whipping everybody ass. Yeah, you're getting cooked to death because you're sitting there and we're slowly allowing the heat to be turned up in our life. And we're just sitting there like, oh, it's getting warmer. That feels good. Next thing we know, we're up to our neck in boiling water, and we're complaining about how life is kicking our ass because we have not taken the time to rest, because we have not recognized the pressures that we put on ourselves. By the way, nobody put all of that pressure on you. And if somebody put that much pressure on you, they don't love you, so they don't deserve you to have that kind of pressure on you for them. Understand that. If they want you to have that much pressure on you, you need to get that person out of your life. But right now, we're just talking about us. At first, we notice the stress a little bit, but then eventually we stop noticing it because our nervous system adapts. So the same way your nose, I spray my cologne 100 times, and then eventually you can't smell it no more. Even though everybody else can smell it, you can't smell it. The same way your nose gets accustomed to that smell and you can't smell it no more, your body physiologically gets adapted to the stress and the pressure, and it just seems normal. So now you can be overwhelmed and still call yourself fine. I'm fine. Everybody's fine. But none of us are fine. Everybody's fine, but none of us are fine. Ask everybody how they doing. Everybody good. Everybody okay. Everybody fine. But then you keep talking to them in conversation. You recognize they not fine. You recognize you not fine. I'm fine. I'm okay. Those phrases will put us in the grave. You could be mentally exhausted, but still keep functioning. And because you're functioning, you think everything is okay. But I know I done drove some cars that have been functioning, but baby, they was on their way out. It was still driving now. The engine was still turning now. The wheels were still rolling now. We only had a few miles left before this thing was getting ready to be over. Just because you're functioning, does not mean everything is okay. Just because you're functioning does not mean you can continue to carry everything that you've been carrying. Just because you're functioning does not mean it's okay for you to carry everything you're carrying. And here's the big one. Just because you're functioning does not mean you can continue to carry, or I'm taking that back. It does not mean that you are actually strong enough to carry what you're carrying. You ever picked up a weight and you can pick it up, but you do what they call like a farmer's walk. Now you can hold the weight for some time, but eventually it gets too heavy. Eventually you got to put it down because you're not strong enough to hold this weight for long periods of time. I'm getting dry. I should have put me some water up here. This right here, many of us confuse pressure with adulthood. Now, I know I done had so many conversations where we are joking and we're saying that becoming an adult was the worst decision that we've ever made. 0 out of 10, don't recommend it. We're joking because we're living under this pressure that's holding us down, but we're just thinking, oh, this is what adults go through because we don't watch so many other adults before us live under this pressure. And so we think it's normal. We think, oh no, it's just when you're an adult, you're just supposed to take care of your responsibilities and you're just supposed to handle what you have to handle. And while we do have to do those things, we still got life to live. I said at the beginning of this year, I'm living like I want to enjoy life because I have not done that. I've lived surviving today, trying to protect tomorrow and trying to save yesterday, but I was not living in the moment. So this year I'm living a little bit. It's going to look like I'm reckless because I'm not going to be worried about these bills going to be here. These bills going to be here. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to pay my bills, but I'm not going to be stressing over every dollar because that's where I've been. Like I've been in the place where I need to have as much as I can possibly make without sleep. I need to do everything I can to make as much as I can to try to feel what I would call safe. Listen, I'm gonna just be transparent here. And this is not no like bragging or anything. I want you to know how bad this is. I created a number. Once I get to this number, I can rest. I hit that number and I didn't feel safe still. I doubled the number. I still ain't feel safe. I doubled the double number. Still mentally did not feel safe. When that pressure gets to you to the point where it begins to mold your identity and we are not aware of how that pressure is shaping us, we will never feel safe. Nothing you do can make you feel safe. You're going to put everything off for tomorrow, or I'll start taking breaks next year, or give me 6 more months of doing this. And you're chasing this elusive safety, killing yourself in the process, and you're never going to get there because it's not some external thing that you have to accomplish. It's an internal healing that you need. But many of us think that being an adult means just carrying the weight of the world. It's like I'm grown. I got to do this. I got kids. And we all have responsibilities. And I'm not talking about neglecting. I'm not in any way talking about neglecting responsibilities. One of the things I talk about in the book is the bare minimum. All right, what is actually the bare minimum amount of money that you need to survive? What's going to cover your roof over your head, your food, your transportation, your clothes? That's just the bare minimum. What is it? All right, you got that? Live a little bit on top of that then. Me, I couldn't, I would be so stressed if in a week I spent more money than I made. Like I needed to save money every week. I needed my money coming in to far exceed the money that was going out. And I would be so stressed when I have a week where maybe I break even. Maybe all of my bills just came out. And I done paid everything. And I just that week I made enough to cover the bills, but nah, in my head, no, you always need extra. Could never feel safe. And I just felt like this was the adult thing to do. So we normalize consistent worry. We normalize consistent rushing. We normalize a constant emotional tension within our body. Like just having peace is just like, nah, we ain't supposed to. I'm supposed to feel like how many times, right? Think about this. How many times have you been sitting still? And I know we all done did this. I done watched people do this 100 times. And I did it 1,000. We're sitting still, nothing's going on. It's just peace. And then you start thinking, what am I supposed to be doing? That sounds so innocent. It sounds like you're being responsible and making sure you're on top of the task that you have to take care of. It sounds like, you're just making sure you got everything on. You didn't miss something that's on your calendar. But the truth is, you can't stand peace. You done got so used to pressure that the moment everything calms down, you start thinking, what I'm supposed to be doing, because you think you're supposed to be doing something constantly. That pressure then became your lifestyle. That pressure then became your identity. And you can't sit still for 10 minutes without saying, oh, what am I supposed to be doing? Every minute of your day doesn't have to be filled with doing something. But since everybody around us is acting the same way, we think this normal. The way we're living is not normal. The hustle and bustle of 24/7 life is not normal. Why do you think we were created to sleep? We have to sleep. You will go delusional. You will die from not sleeping. You will be unhealthy from not sleeping. Your body will break down from not sleeping. You can end up in some kind of manic attack or psychosis from not sleeping. We have to rest. Even on the seventh day, God rested. How the most powerful being in creation rested or ceased from his work on the Sabbath, but we can't never stop. If God can stop, I can stop. You can stop. But then we get so used to it, we start treating our response to this pressure and this idea that we have to constantly be doing something, we start wearing that like a badge of honor. If we're overwhelmed with a whole lot of stuff that we're taking care of, we feel like we're productive. If we're stressed, we feel like we're important because I got all of these things that people need from me, the world needs from me, especially those of us who are doing things to help other people. And when we rest, we feel guilty. Surviving adulthood and living as an adult are not the same thing. And many of us wake up every day and all we're doing is surviving adulthood. I was driving and I was in a parking lot and this little boy was walking in front of me. His shoes was untied. He had probably be about 6 or 7 years old. Shoes is untied. He had his book bag hanging over his shoulder. And he was just walking, wasn't paying nothing, no mind, not even his car behind him. And I was just looking at him like, he don't have no worries in the world. He's just in his own world. Now, he might have worries. He might be stressed out. That's why he can't notice a car behind him. But the way it looked to me, and I begin to think about being a child, like as a child, I wasn't thinking about or believing I was supposed to have all of these things on me at all times. As a child, I was able to live. As a child, I was able to experience the day. As a child, I was able to experience new things. Then as an adult, I can go through 6 months of the same day. 6 straight months of the same day. Every day I wake up at the same time, do the same thing, brush my teeth the same way, brush my hair the same way, put my clothes on the same way, do the same to-do list. And 6 months done went by, and all I lived was one day. And we wonder why it seemed like our time is going by so fast. It's going by because every day you do the same thing. Every day you under the same pressure. You're not experiencing anything new. You're not doing anything that's activating your senses. You're just on autopilot every day, doing the things that we got to do because pressure has become our lifestyle. We become so accustomed to pressure that peace feels like irresponsibility. Is irresponsibility a word? But y'all know what I mean. So we're always in that urgent mode. I gotta do it, gotta do it, gotta go here, gotta do this, gotta do that. Constant urgency is what slowly reshapes your identity. If you're constantly on the go, constantly on the go, when you live in urgency long enough, urgency starts becoming your identity. You stop being someone who occasionally feels pressure and become someone who believes that pressure is who they are. Now, everything in life feels immediate. You ever been there? I don't care what it is, we got to do it now. It's like we can't put nothing off. Everything is urgent. Everything got to be done yesterday. Or if we don't, everything gonna fall apart. Can I tell you something right now? If you stop for a day, it ain't gonna fall apart. If you stop for a day, you ain't gonna die. If you stop for a day, you are not going to get 6 months behind on your rent or mortgage if you stop one day. One day. Some of us can't even take a beat. We can't take one beat. We can't take one day. I've definitely worked in the year. I ain't gonna say every day, but if it's 365 days in a year, I've had years where I probably worked 350. Probably about 350. I might have took 15 days. Ooh, 15 days sound like too many. I don't even think, nah. I probably was closer to 355. So I wasn't taking a day off every month, more than one day every month. No, it's going months without a day off. Probably about 355 days out of 365. That's nuts. And I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about me. I can say that's nuts. I can say that's foolish. I can say that's idiotic. I can say that's unhealthy because I'm talking about me. Everything felt like I got to do it now, even though I'm trying to assure some future that's not even guaranteed. Not that I'm saying I'm gonna die young or nothing, but I'm trying to safeguard a future that's not guaranteed by living in the present in a way that does not make me happy or satisfied. All because I'm living out of some kind of fear. And because of that fear, most of us are not living, we're bracing. That was, ooh, especially when I was dealing with depression. This is, I guess sometimes you have a nervous laugh where you just laugh to keep from falling apart. That's why I just laugh because what I'm about to say is not funny. When I dealt with bouts of depression, they say like death comes in threes. If I knew one person that died, I am bracing for the other two. I'm trying to find the other two. I'm looking for the other two deaths. I'm just bracing for the next bad thing. Because that becomes my idea of life. Bad things happen to me. I lived that for years. And I don't mean three or four, I mean 11, 12. Thinking bad things happen to me, good things. I didn't believe anything good could ever come to me easily. Now, I've had some good things in life. I just felt like I had to hustle and bustle and toil and fight, and it felt like I was never getting any help. And it's just like the bad stuff gonna come easy. The good stuff, I gotta fight. The bad stuff is finding me. The good stuff, I gotta dig in the dirt to get. And it made me begin to believe that bad things always happen to me. So I'm just always looking for the next bad thing to confirm what I already believe, to confirm that identity of the person that bad things happen to. That's how that pressure got to me. A lot of us are not actually experiencing life. Like I said, you're going through 6 months of the same day. You're not experiencing life just going through this to-do list. When is the last time you experienced something new? I mean, new, new. I mean, you did something that you've never done before. When you were a child, my niece, my youngest niece, my little Lizzie. Remember, she asked me a question about something or show her something that she never saw before. She's very animated. She's always like, wow, it's this new experience. When the last time you said, wow? I know that sounds like very mundane or insignificant, but when's the last time you said, wow? When was the last time you had an experience where you went, well, every day you just doing the same thing? And watch this, not just doing the same thing. Every day you feeling the same exact emotions. Every every day you got the same emotions that you had the day before and the day before and the day before. You feel the exact same way. It don't feel like there's no highs. It don't feel like there's no lows. It's just you in the middle, just wherever that emotion is. You just carrying it every day like a zombie. Not you, me. I'm not gonna say you, but me. That was me. Not experiencing life. Going to work every day, coming home, feed the kids, put the kids to sleep, help them with their homework, go to bed, wake up, do it again. You're not experiencing life. It's so much out there in the world. Go catch a butterfly. Wow. When's the last time you said wow? When's the last time you experienced something new? When was the last time you introduced something new to your senses? A new smell, a new taste, a new feeling, a new experience, a new place, and done so in a way where you can appreciate it and not like me going on vacation and still feeling like I can't, I really couldn't rest on a beach. Couldn't rest on the beach. Like I'm supposed to be here relaxing, but my mind is still in the future, still in the past, still feeling unsafe. A lot of us are not experiencing life. We're just living. So what I want you to recognize is how pressure lives in the body. So pressure isn't just mental. It's not just in the mind. Everything that's in the mind is also in the body. Everything that happens to you neurologically is going to go through your central nervous system also. So everything you experience in the mind, you also experience in the body. For for instance, if you have a brain injury, you can be completely paralyzed. You can be blind in one eye. Like if you have a stroke, half of your body you can't move or feel, or because what's in the mind directly affects the body. Now, when you're not having something like a stroke or an aneurysm or something like that that shows immediate um, effects to the body, you think what's going on in your mind is not hurting you because it's not showing up immediately, but it's coming. It's working on your body slowly but surely. It becomes harder to lose weight when you got stress. Your cortisol levels are high, face gets puffy, appetite messed up. Sometimes you can't eat. Sometimes you want to eat too much. So much going on because everything that happens in the mind, every new thing that you took on that you believe you had to take on, and every new task that you took on and believed that you had to take on, and every new responsibility that you took on that you believed you had to take on is in your mind and then it's in your body. You wake up and your chest is tight and you ain't did nothing yet. Your breathing is shallow and you ain't even did nothing yet. You wake up. Think about this, right? Remember when you was a child, if you celebrated Christmas, you go to sleep, you probably couldn't sleep. But then when you finally got to sleep, but you knew Christmas was coming, when they wake you up in the morning, you pop up, you run down them steps. When the last time you popped up and just was going? And I mean, like you was able to just pop up and just with excitement, not with urgency, with excitement. Or does the alarm go off and you like, I wish I could just go back to sleep. Think about this. Because I know I've done it. I know many of us have done it. You wake up and that's that thought. I just want to go back to sleep. That is silently saying, I don't want to live. I don't want to experience life right now. I want to go back to a sleep world where I can dream. If you dream lucidly like me, I'm in my dreams, I'm flying, I'm in the matrix. I just want to go back to the dream world because I don't want to do life right now. That's how you thought what was in your mind wasn't affecting your body, but now your body don't even want to get up to live. You don't even want to experience life. You would rather be in a sleep comatose state than experience life because the pressure is that deep in your body. The pressure begins, it changes your posture. Like I'm very big on, walking, pulling your shoulders back, having your head held high. When that pressure start getting to you, them shoulders start rounding. Everything start hunching over. You ain't looking people in the eyes. You might not even see somebody that you know that walk right by you. You looking down. The pressure changes your digestion. It changes your emotional tolerance. Things that used to be funny ain't even funny to you no more. But stop playing. Hey, you used to play all the time. I don't feel like it right now. You understand that? I don't feel like it right now. Why you don't feel like it right now? Pressure. Pressure that got so deep in your body, you don't even feel like having fun. You don't even feel like laughing. As they were saying, church, I know I'm coming down somebody out right now. So after years of carrying that pressure, the body starts expecting stress automatically. And this is why some of us wake up anxious before anything even happens. You in a anxiety attack and the day haven't even started yet. It's because your nervous system already assumes that the day is going to require survival, not living, but survival. As soon as you woke up, your nervous system say, you're gonna have to fight the day. Because that's what we do. We fight every day. So Pinky and the brain stuff. What we gonna do today, Pinky? We're gonna try to survive the day. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for myself. I had to break. I had to break that loop. Because it's so normal, we all deal with it. Pressure sometimes is often praised socially. The world sort of kind of rewards pressure constantly. You get praised for overworking, especially old boy. Now, I ain't even gonna say corporate America, but corporate America, blue collar America, no matter where you at, I can trust them for overtime. I can put this on them. I could get them more hours. I know they're gonna work hard. Praising you for beating your body down, for beating your mind down. We get praised for how much we sacrifice. Ooh, I was a sacrificer. Oh man, was I a sacrificer? Mm. And I thought it was such a great thing. I thought it was such a great thing to be like, you know what? I'm giving my life to the ministry. I'm giving my life to the people. And people praise me for how dedicated I was. and people praise me for how much I was doing in the community, and the people praise me for all of the work and all of the programs, and nobody asked me how I was feeling. Not only did nobody ask how I was feeling, I didn't stop to consider my own feelings. I took on this like poor righteous teacher type of identity, where it's like, God called me to something, and I'm just gonna, I don't care what I lose. I don't care what my life is like, as long as I'm fulfilling the mission. And I know a lot of us that have been in church kind of has some sort of kind of beliefs like that. God don't want you struggling. God don't want you overworked. God don't want you full of pressure. God don't want you having a stroke. God don't want you having a heart attack. God don't want you not being able to pay your bills. What 2000 2008? Well, I sold out to the ministry. I lost everything: house, car, relationship, all because I just got to give it all. I got to sacrifice. This ain't about me. This ain't about me. But I know somebody else has been there, to where you begin to measure your worth by how much you sacrifice. Give my all. Then you start dealing with a bunch of resentment because you decided to sacrifice everything in your life. Maybe not you, me. I dealt with all the resentment. Felt like everybody owed me something because I decided to believe I'm supposed to be sacrificing everything. We get praised for always being available. Listen, one week I had 3 people say to me, one thing about you, you always show up. And I was upset. I was upset that week, like, yo. So everybody notices that I'm always available for everybody. This is that resentment. This is where the resentment comes in. But I don't feel like nobody is ever there for me. But that was me making myself available. Ain't nobody else. Nobody can make me available. Nobody can make you available. You got to make yourself available. If you decide to be available, that's on you for taking on more than what you're supposed to take on. That was on me. Now I'm carrying all this resentment that's sort of kind of turning into like entitlement. I feel like I'm entitled for people to do certain things, all because I decided to wrap my identity up in being available and sacrificing for other people. We get praised for grinding nonstop. I hate that a lot of the personal development space and motivation space really teaches this no sleep type of grind. It's not healthy. But if it's somebody that's up all times of the night, that's always working, that's always doing something, you get praised for living under that pressure. The question is, why are you always doing something? Why do you think you have to grind that hard? That's that's that pressure. We think we got to grind so hard to the point where calm feels unfamiliar. And when it feels unfamiliar, calm feels unsafe. One of the clearest signs when that pressure has become your identity is when peace starts feeling totally uncomfortable. Now, I don't know. I'm gonna see if am I the only person that's ever done this. Have you ever been asleep and in the middle of your sleep you start thinking, this sleep getting too good? This sleep too good. I must have missed my alarm. I must have missed the first thing I had to do this morning. I must have missed the emails. I must have missed my routine. I must have missed. It's nowhere in the world I could feel this good in my sleep. This sleep is too good. You force yourself to wake up while you're asleep because even in your sleep, you can't be in peace. Mm. Even in sleep, the peace is so uncomfortable that you're literally telling yourself, this sleep getting too good. Some of us cannot sit in silence without reaching for some kind of stimulation. Some of us can't rest without feeling guilty. Some of us can't slow down or we feel like we're being lazy. And I want you to know you're not broken because of that. It's just become what your nervous system has learned to associate movement with safety and stillness with some kind of vulnerability. And vulnerability doesn't feel safe to us. So instead of entering peace, we unconsciously recreate pressure because pressure feels emotionally familiar. How many of us feel like we work better under pressure? You know, so many people have said that, and none of us have sat back and said, yo, that's dumb. That's dumb. And I'm not calling you dumb if you ever said you work better under pressure. I'm not calling you dumb. I'm saying we never sat back and said, I work better under pressure. Why in the world do I work better under pressure? Why do I not work great under peace? Why do I not work great under calm? Why do I not work great under stillness? Why? Because I'm not saying it's not true. What I'm saying is, or what I'm asking is, why does your greatness require pressure? And the answer, I'm gonna give you the answer. Again, your nervous system has learned pressure is life. Your identity has learned pressure is you. So you can't function as yourself in life without pressure. Hope this helps somebody. Hope this helps somebody. That pressure that we constantly stay in, it destroys your presence. And that's why I couldn't be present at the beach. Pressure steals the ability to fully experience your life. You can't be present in a great moment if halfway through the moment you thinking about a bill. It's been times where I was at a family function. It could have been a birthday party. It could have been anything, a cookout, some kind of celebration. And oftentimes it'd be like my mom or my sister, like, what's wrong with you? Obviously, I'm gonna tell a lie, everybody. So no, nothing, I'm fine. But I couldn't be present because I was, even in this moment, even though the seafood salad was good, the macaroni and cheese was good, the chicken and the ribs was good, even I couldn't be present because the pressure destroyed my presence. I was living under so much pressure, I couldn't even fully enjoy a cookout. We are there physically, but mentally we're somewhere else. And where we are is stealing the joy out of the presence. Get to the point where you can eat without tasting. You ever drive without even remembering the drive? You done drove your whole drive with your eyes defocused. You got music on, you ain't heard none of it. You praying, and the prayer don't even feel like a prayer. You ever had one of those prayers that feel like it ain't go nowhere? I know God hear everything, but he ain't hear that. Pressure just keeps pulling the mind into what's next. What's next? This is the kind of hard topic for me tonight. I'm just thinking about. I don't want to do that. See the years I waste. I ain't gonna do that. All we got is now, so we gonna see that. That's one of the things I learned how to do is recenter. Before I would go off on a tangent. I get sad and depressed about this and that. Now I recenter. Let's get back to the moment. Let's get back to the present. And that's what we're doing right. That's what we're going right now. The shift. So what we need to do, we need to shift from pressure to presence. So the goal is not becoming laziness or becoming lazy. The goal is actual safety, not the fake safety that we're thinking about. Not me wanting a certain number and then having to go past that number to feel safe and then not feeling safe there, and not the fictitious safe that we be thinking about. No. The real safe. The goal is teaching your body that life is no longer an emergency. Every day is not an emergency. Everything is not urgent. Everything does not have to be handled now. You don't have to make sure, and I'm speaking to myself here, you don't have to make sure your 60 and 70-year-old self is safe, because at 44, I'm 44, right? At 44, you need to make sure you're safe now. Learn how to be present. Breathe. Inhale 4 seconds. Hold for 6 seconds. Breathe slowly out for 10. That activates your sympathetic nervous system. Hope I got that right. Your parasympathetic nervous system. One of the parasympathetic or the sympathetic nervous system. I ain't got it 100% in my head right now, but one of them, it activates the one that tells your body you're safe. How about that? One of them puts you in fight or flight. The other is where you feel safe. So that breathing in 4, hold for 6, slowly breathe out for 10. It signals to your body that you're safe. When you're breathing heavy, that's signaling to your body that, oh, we're in some kind of danger. That's why we're breathing like that. But when you can slowly just activates your vagus nerve. And then the vagus nerve activates that parasympathetic nervous system. I believe it's parasympathetic nervous system. And that tells your body we're safe. But you have to take those moments and you got to talk to yourself. You got to talk to yourself. One of the things I would do, pause, put my hand on my heart and tell myself, I am safe. I am safe. Your brain listens to you because your brain is a tool. Your brain is not you. Your brain is a tool that you use. So the same way other information comes in your brain and you believe it, you can give information to your brain for you to believe it. That makes sense? So I know sometimes I'm saying things that sound real simple. You be like, come on, just put your hand on your heart and tell yourself you're safe. I know that sounds simple, but it's real. It's real. Take those breaths, take those pauses, because right now you don't take the breaths. Right now you don't pause. Right now you don't rest. So when you're doing that, you're training your body to always be in urgency. If you just break one part of the loop, you change the loop. So if the whole loop is urgency, 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 and then you get right here and just say pause, that changes the whole loop. Then add another pause, and add another pause here. And now the loop is no longer urgent. It's not telling your body that we have to accomplish everything now. It's telling your body we can rest. We can take a break. And that's what the goal is, to teach your body that life is no longer an emergency. It's an experience. And it's meant for you to experience. It's not meant for you to go through 6 months and you can't even tell one day from the other. Your time all goes together. You think something was 2 weeks ago, but it was 4 months ago. And the reason why you think something 4 months ago was 2 weeks ago was because 4 months ago looks exactly like 2 weeks ago. So you can't differentiate the difference between the time because every day is the same. And I know all of us adults have been there where we thought something was closer than it was. The reason why you think something 6 months ago was just 1 month ago is because your life is the same every day. So everything, time warps, everything just looks the same because you're living the same. You're feeling the same emotions, the same feelings. You're having the same thoughts every day. So that presence begins to change the way you think. So those pauses, those stops, those intentional rests, it changes the way you think because before when you're constantly on the go, when you're constantly in a rush, when everything is immediate, everything is emergency, and everything is urgent, and you're just on that wheel, just going like that, that trains your body and trains your mind. So the pauses, the rests, the breathing, the telling yourself that you're safe, that begins to change the way you think because your mind and your body reacts to patterns. It reacts to and adjusts and adapts to what is constantly happening. So when you start constantly taking breaks and you constantly start taking rest and making room for rest and you constantly pause and you constantly breathe right, it begins to change the way you think. And when it begins to change the way you think, it begins to change your body. And then when it begins to change your body, it begins to change your life. The pauses, the breaks begins to change the way you respond. Because now you're not in such urgency to have to get stuff done. You can find something funny again. That I don't feel like it right now. I know that I know that hit somebody hard. You probably just said that to somebody. I don't feel like it right now. They like, damn, you used to the pauses, the rest, the presence. It changes the way you experience ordinary moments. Now I've learned how to be present in whatever. Just be there. Just be happy. Just right now. Sometimes I just go outside and I just look at the sky and it's just like, yo, especially on a sunny day. I just love this just to feel the sun on me. Take a walk. I'm looking at the trees. I'm looking at the kids. I'm looking at the dogs. I'm just experiencing life instead of just walking through it. When the nervous system feels safe, and this is the real key here, is your clarity returns. Because when something is an emergency all the time, you can't think straight in the state of an emergency. You can't think straight when you're feeling urgent. So you're grinding so hard, but you're not even giving your best effort because most of the time, neurologically here, you're not even using your prefrontal cortex, the critical thinking part of your brain. You everything is amygdala. Everything is emotion. You're just going off the emotion of what you got to do and the autopilot. You're not critically thinking. You're not clear because everything is just so urgent. Like I got to get it done. And when you just got to get it done, like you thought you was doing your best work under pressure, but when you learn how to work from stillness, when you learn how to work from it's due in a month and I start working on it now instead of the last day, you know how much better you become when you take that whole month to do it. That clarity, it creates better decisions than the panic of your urgency ever could. Think about that. When do you think you will make the best decisions? Under pressure, with everything feeling immediate and urgent, or you think you make the best decisions when you're calm and you can sit and take time to think through things? The pressure creates survival. Presence creates authorship. The pressure runs your day. Presence allows you to run it. Because when you're present, you're stopping. It's like I'm thinking about the Matrix, like you moving all the pieces on the board. But when everything is just urgent and immediate, and you just in the panic, and you're not controlling your day. The day is controlling you. The day is running you. But when you can pause, hold on, let me stop. Now you're taking control. Now you're telling the body that it's okay to pause. Now you're telling the body it's safe. Now, this was in neuroscience is called the high road. Now the information can go past the emotional part of your brain and get to the critical thinking part of your brain so you can actually see clearly. Because when you are in that urgent state, literally how it works, your information goes through your five senses, goes through your thalamus, and then when you're emotionally charged, the amygdala stops the information from getting to the front of your brain. Literally stops it. Your thinking brain does not ever receive the information. And then the amygdala produces why do I always lose this word? Not chemicals, hormones. It begins to release fight, flight, or fight, flight, or freeze hormones, and it's sending the stuff back down to your body to get you ready to box, to get you ready to freeze, or get you ready to run, but it don't get you ready to think. It don't get you ready to think. When you are understand this, when you are emotionally charged, you literally are not thinking. And that's what that pressure does. All day you're just responding on autopilot from whatever pattern was already in your mind, whatever pattern was already in your body. Sadly, a lot of us inherited pressure before we ever even chose it. Some of us inherited from the way we had to survive. Some of us inherited it from trauma. Some of us inherited from our family systems. Some from constantly having to prove ourselves. But pressure does not have to remain your identity. You were never designed to spend your whole life emotionally braced against your pure existence. At some point, the body deserves to learn something new. Your body deserves to learn something new, and you deserve to experience something new. You deserve to experience peace, joy in the moment, not some in the future, not some in 3 months. I'm a no. Now, now, your body deserves to feel safe and breathe deeply now. You need to understand it's safe to slow down now. It's safe to exist without constantly preparing for the next thing, without constantly preparing for impact now. There's a difference between being alive and feeling alive. And what I want you to ask yourself tonight is, do you feel alive?